Hey guys, Remo Kazzi here. Welcome to another video. I just spent like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, searching for this phone. And no, not this phone, not this microphone. Actually funny that microphone is a word that describes a micro version of the phone, which doesn't really make sense. But let's jump straight into the video. Welcome to another video of the Short Man Work Club. I'm recording this to show the club that I'm still here. I'm recording this every day to, keep up the legacy of the Short Man Work Club, because I think it's very important to see, when you're looking back after like years and years and years, to have something to look back to and be like, yeah, this was an everyday thing. The founder of the Short Man Work Club really was there showing off, showing up and everything. And showing up sometimes is key because, I had a job interview and everything, and I slept too much, I slept too long, which normally I'm like, I wake up I wake up early, I wake up early, but at that time, it's like, I'm an unlucky guy, it's just the way it is. It always has been this way. And I don't know why the Zoom went out. But yeah, like, I'm an unlucky guy, when, for example, there's a trend with like stocks going up, coins going up. 1 week earlier, I changed my way of doing it. Or, there's actually forgot what I was about to say. And this is like all the real legacy. This is like all about it, right? Because the way of like being able to just freestyle videos, for example, changes while you are, how good your mental is, because like that is actually like a very different craft to really get right. Because, for example, people like, they just do a show. You guys probably know who does a show on this platform. It's not that easy. It's not that easy to just press the camera or like just go live, talk and talk and talk, because what that basically is, it's even harder than just writing a long essay. And it's draining energy. It's not that easy. Especially like, this requires, like, you can really measure the mental capacity and the mental free space that your brain has while you're doing those kind of videos. Okay, why is that? Like, if, for example, if you're having a hard time and you're like watching a lot of videos, dopamine, your brain will not be able to make sense of many things. Your brain will not be able to stay in the moment and to think about things while you're doing this. Because my brain, for example, in some occasions, what would happen is, so what would happen is that I would say the thing, but I would depersonalize, I would derealize in a situation and basically think about, kind of dream, go like, oh no, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm just going to dream now, okay? And the only way to kind of get out of that and to, say, okay, I forgot what I was about to say, but you come back to why you thought it was important to say the thing, or you come back to why is it important to, just why, those things should not happen. And that's what I just did, right? I forgot the thing, what I was about to say. I changed topics to more in the moment, and in the moment means, oh guys, I'm doing this right now, I'm talking to the camera, and I just forgot. But let's take a lesson out of this, because I just came back from, it doesn't really matter. I woke up early today. It's a Sunday. You guys probably know. I don't want to be so specific, but I think hinting at things can actually, is the future. Hinting at things is the future. Because, all those people at power, they also don't really like to, make things clear. They just do things in the backgrounds. It's like an insider game. And I think an insider game, I usually hated that when I was like small. I thought, can you just be precise and describe exactly what you mean? But an insider game makes only the people that you want to actually reach understand what you're about to say. Like, that is just the point of it all, right? Because, for example, okay, let's say I'm going to describe the people that don't understand what I mean as idiots. Okay, I don't want these idiots. Like, I don't want, it's like I'm a step further into the craft. I'm a step further into the whole universe, into the whole history that you have to go through to land where I am with my videos. It's like, first you have to learn what it does it mean, what is what does communism mean, what does democracy mean, what does those words mean, what are policies, what is money, what is taxes, what is that. And after that you can go along, get further, and you can look and watch those, or read essays or books about that, because those books, it's the same as language, right? Like, you're not gonna understand what the person says or what the text says if you don't, like, you cannot write a text with describing every word and translating it from the base of the meaning of the first principle. Because how do you learn a language with first principles? Well, that's what children they do, right? That's why they learn it so fast. And that's why, for example, the first principle way of learning a language, it's just not translating words. It's just not learning grammar. It's just not. The first principle way is, what are you describing? It's like, there's also this kind of language where you don't have, like, for deaf people, for example. Okay, what does the person want to say? And what tones does the person do? Okay, what tones does the person do? What comes out of the person's mouth? And what is it described as? Okay, is this vocal, and you just write it as this. Okay, okay, what is okay, this is this, okay? So it's like, I don't know about you guys, but this is how I learn things. This is how I kind of describe and, get to kind of certain conclusions. And if you are, I don't know, if you're real, if you're a real person, if you truly believe in the things, if you're not that stupid, you should also see the things that way, because it makes you happy. It makes you happy. It makes you truly happy. It makes you it makes you very, very present and grateful, because, for example, today's world is crazy. Today's world is full of things that we take for granted, but are actually one of the things that would usually happen in movies, or were described in movies actually, like years, decades ago. And seeing those things, this could be described as the peak of humanity, right? Many people describe, and that we're going through so many things, like being present and really taking it in. Like, now is, like, usually, like, you could say, like, years and, like, centuries ago, every day was a struggle. But now, even the poor people can live in the West, for example, can live a normal day with the gratitude of living every day by day. Obviously, there's some risks. It's always like, okay, we have built this luxury. Okay, what are the things that come with that? The things that come with that is, for example, a little bit, we might say a lot of pollution, right? A lot of pollution, a lot of more stress, less, society, and all of those things collapsing. But if you're realizing, if you're present, if you're not letting yourself distract, you can say, for example, when I go on the street, I see a car, and I'm like, you could say, oh, that's just a car, right? No, 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 no. What first principle thinkers do is they see the car and they say, wow, this is 4 wheels, and they are like this thing of, like, I don't know what they're built of. Those 4 kind of wheels, these circle things, being mounted to this car. The design is very, very, it looks nice, okay? And it's just rolling over the ground, and it can actually produce some kind of power and kind of, like, drive. How does that even work? What exactly is that? And those kind of things, for example, are things that I ask ChatGPT. This is how you learn. I think the best way to learn nowadays is to ask questions, okay? Because, asking questions usually has some kind of barrier. When as a teacher, Okay, you have to kind of get, use the energy of that person, the attention and everything. But if it's an AI chatbot, the main reason I'm very grateful, and also like you can just ask questions, okay? And I'm an honest guy, I also give like people some, I like to give people my opinion. I want them to give my opinion too. I think when they're smart, they want to inspire people, that want to say, do this, try this, that's good, I like that. And so, but coming back to the car thing, I just see those things that's, as very, very, that's a nice design, those things are, like, I could look at a MacBook and be like, wow. Like, I could look at it just like, sometimes I take like 10 minutes of my time and I just look at the screen and I'm just like fascinated by it. Um, and it's not low, I'm a tech lord, I'm this and that, it's just the appreciation for the things that we've built really, really is something that will make you, I think, a better person, because it just, the core, like, it's just understanding the core elements, asking asking, why is it that way? Okay, how do you actually mount this? Okay, why is it like that? Okay, the screen is lighting up, but what's behind that? And like, or like, for example, okay, how do you build a company like Apple? Yeah, you need to do this and that, but like, okay, but just give me like the actual, like, what do I do first? What do I do second? There's so many things which can be described and can be asked and can be asked. Every day, every day I spend my time feeling fine. No, I'm joking, but like every day I'm like, I'm asking myself, how is this legal? How are they giving this to me? Or like companies with like cameras, how are they giving this to us for, like, how is this, like, you know, it's just like, sometimes I wonder, and I think companies with a lot of power, billions and billions and billions, they must have some kind of insider. But at the end of the day, it's just people like us. Because ChatGPT, for example, like, if that was a higher power, if that was something, that could actually control whatever, you know, why would they give this to us? This is such, like, you can figure out so many things with that. Um, I'm actually surprised the world is kind of a little bit the same like it was before with ChatGPT. It's not the same, but in real life, there's not as many things that have changed. There's not as many, developments that now boom, like suddenly skyscrapers are coming out of the roof. Suddenly like everybody builds their houses by themselves and everything. It's really surprising, actually. Like, I'm wondering, like, how are they just giving this to us? And, obviously they see profit, though they want to like have the best product. Same with like DJI, for example. DJI is a nice brand, a tech brand, which I actually like. I found when a DJI Phantom 2 or 3 dropped, which was like 2018, 17, probably before, and that's actually early. And I was always surprised. I'm still like looking at the drops and DJI Neo 2 and stuff like that, and it's just, wow, like, this is just incredible. Like, it's just incredible what they're building. I mean, I'm using a camera right now, and it's recording for me, and it's basically doing the work, which I just pay a price up front, and they give me the product, and I get so many services. And even, I'm tired now. I'm kind of tired. I could lay down and everything, but I sometimes, when I fall back into the, dopamine. You guys know what dopamine is, right? On the phone and doing some not so good stuff. I I come back to, I pray. I pray for myself. I pray for the demons. I pray because I know exactly why I do those things. I'm not stupid. You do those things because you want to feel. I mean, one reason, for example, is the pain. The pain of, the pain I have in my back. And instead of stretching, instead of you could just do that and you feel more relaxed. Or like, I'm gonna sleep better. I'm a little bit stressed right now. I need some kind of higher power feeling. I need some experience now. I want to feel. It's like, Yeah, but bro, like, why do you feel that way? Should you not actually like go out and um, obviously that is kind of more of a long-term stretch energy, and long-term stretch energy usually feels, like a marathon usually is a lot harder to endure than a sprint, even though you might actually, use some, you're not using more, but like 10 sprints instead of like one long marathon. You might actually want to do the sprints, because sprints, like, we want everything fast, and it just reminds us of, okay, what are we, like, everything is about fast time saving, da da da. And if you can get people to save time, well, that's a key feature of like selling something. Time is always being sold every day. Okay, faster, faster, faster. MacBook faster, da faster. Okay, what does that mean for the core element of everything and what you're doing? It means that efficiency is very important. It also means that um, it means in experiences in doing stuff. Well, it means that time has different segments: productivity, hobby, job. When when should time be measured? When should, like, it's just basically all subjective. Time also, you could say, relative. Relative time theory. But yeah, I think this is enough for today. We've talked about some interesting points, and we have the, what is it today? I think it's the 16th November 2025. It's incredible how fast this year kind of rolled out to be. Um, I mean, especially, like, time flies, but using people to slow down the time, to save time, save memories, is could be interesting. I'm also doing this, and I started. I wanted to do this and come back to with the content, because I noticed that, if you are, you might not want to show so much of you, but if you're not doing it, you are basically left with nothing, and emptiness, and loneliness, and just the black hole is one of the, that's the feeling I tend to want. I tend to avoid. I want to avoid. And so I decided that it's all or nothing, because it's very hard to build those connections, and you kind of want to not force them, but you kind of want to, if it's not happening, you kind of have to go out and, take the matter in your own hands. And that's why I have multiple channels, also channels where I kind of build a friend group, this and that, because, like, do you want to have like 10, like, I don't want to sit at 40 and not have any friends. I want to sit at 40 and be like, yeah, we met when we were 22, we met during this time, we're still in contact. But it's really hard to imagine, because people nowadays, it's just, I don't know, it's just not as deep, it's just not as, friendly, there's not many gestures. It's just, I'm focused on my own life, and yeah, let's drink a coffee, let's, like, exchange. But okay, why do I want to exchange? Because, yeah, I want to feel a little bit of that. I want to, I need to, relax. It's because everybody's, like, doing it for themselves, but I get it, because at the end of the day, bro, it is a society of the lonely man. It is a society of individualism. And that's why relationships and, like, everything is in a decline. You guys know that. But if you have many, many people that many, many people that there's gonna be people that stick, and people that really, really tends. I mean, it's sad, because I have some friend, for example, who I met in, like, probably like 5 years ago, like when I was like smaller, and we were like making beats and like doing similar stuff with music, and I'm always the guy who sends him stuff. I'm always the guy reaching out. I'm the guy who says, is like, look at this is interesting. I'm the guy who calls, and I've probably called him like 8 times, and he has not ever called me back. We have called like one time, this and that, but, like, that is becoming normal. Calling 8 times over like months and months and months, like, not, like, not even replying for like a whole week. You know, it's like, are you guys, like, did you switch to like a Nokia or whatever? Like, man, like, this is just, it's the disrespect that is becoming normal, and I kind of want to fight against that. I don't want that to happen. I don't want this society. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on another one. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Okay. Bye bye.